changes over the thing.
I'm meteorologist Jared. High weather update for you. A tornado warning has just been issued for parts of our viewing area. This is going to include parts of Orange County, Indiana until 8:30 p.m. You can see right there the tornado warning box. It's small. It's just north of Paoli for a storm that has been rotating over the last little bit. So what we wanted to do is get you an update on this storm and show you where it's headed here over the next 15 or 20 minutes. Here's reflectivity. We have a band of thunderstorms developing across parts of southwest Indiana. This is ahead of a cold front that's going to drop our temperatures later on tonight. Still very warm in Louisville. We're in the mid and upper 70s, and that is fuel for some of these thunderstorms as they push off to the south and southeast. As we zoom in a little bit to parts of southern Indiana, there's the band of storms that we're tracking from Bedford to Paoli down through French Lick. This is all moving east at around 30 to 40 miles an hour. And within this line of storms, with all of the wind energy that we have in place, they have been rotating a little bit. So that's why we're somewhat concerned for the potential for a strong wind gust or maybe a brief tornado. There's the rotation that we're tracking on the radar right there across sections of Orange County. This is just to the north and northwest of Paoli. So as I zoom in here real tight, I'm going to show you exactly where this storm is located. It went very near or just north of French Lick just a few minutes ago. Here's Highway 56. There's French Lick. The Paoli area, probably the tornadic rotation passing just northwest of you. But out here in rural sections of northern Orange County is where we have this strong rotation developing on the radar in the last little bit. And this is moving off to the east and northeast at speeds of around 30 to 40 miles an hour. So I'm going to zoom out here a little bit and give you a path on this storm, show you where it's headed over the next 15 to 30 minutes. Again, what we're tracking for you is that little couplet right there where the green, the wind's heading toward the radar at Fort Knox, the red away, and where they're tightly packed together. That's where we have some of that rotation that's currently developing. So let me track that for you off to the east and northeast. Again, as I said, around 30 to 40 miles an hour. And it's going to move, generally speaking, across northern Orange County and into Washington County. Woodlawn Grove over the next 5 minutes. Syria 10 minutes away. Claysville and Bromer 15 to 20 minutes. If it holds together, it would move into Washington County and affect Campbellsburg, Smedley, Hitchcock, and Salem over the next 30 to 40 minutes. Now that's getting way on down the road on this storm, I realize, and it will probably have weakened or have changed its appearance to some degree because these typically do not stay tornadic for very long. They are typically short-term tornadic storms embedded in a line of gusty or thunder showers that we have. And that's what we're going to have off and on for the evening. So let's go back over to precipitation. We'll turn off the track. There's that line of storms. As we loop it over the last hour, you can see as this thing has moved in, there's been quite a bit of lightning and thunder with this band as it's moved from southwest Indiana into southern and southeastern Indiana. So again, this is where we have the concern for some strong gusty winds and perhaps an isolated tornado. I'll stop the precipitation from looping over the last hour. You can see we had that very heavy band of storms with some moderate rain around it, but here in Louisville, still pretty quiet at this time. As I pan back over into the metro, this is all around 40 miles to the northwest up Highway 150 into sections of Indiana. So again, to recap, let me show you the warning that we have in effect at this time. This is for, again, parts of northern Orange County. It's going to go until 8:30 p.m. Paoli up to the county line essentially is where we have a potential for a tornado to develop over the next 10 to 20 minutes. I'm looking over here at the chat. I do not see any reports at this point. Let me step out and make sure that's the case because the Weather Service will keep us updated on any reports that they get on this thunderstorm. Just saying that the rotation is pretty significant in the storm, and that's why they went ahead and issued the tornado warnings. We are covering up your programming for a few minutes here just to keep you updated on this situation. If you're in Orange County, best thing to do is to be indoors, of course, away from windows, abandoned mobile homes. You're safer actually outdoors in a low-lying ditch or a barn, something like that. A sturdy structure. If you don't have a basement, lowest level of your home away from windows, of course, a closet or an interior bathroom, things like that. Cover yourself up with blankets. If you have a bicycle helmet, not a bad idea because flying debris is the killer. The wind isn't the killer, it's what it throws through the air. There's the tornado warning. Again, this is all off to the northwest of Louisville. As we go back to precipitation mode, there's the band of storms that we're tracking moving off to the east at around 30 to 40 miles an hour. And what we'll do here is track the entire line of storms, because anywhere along this line we had the potential for some strong gusty winds as all this begins to move off to the east and northeast and closer to I-65. So the northern extent of the strongest part of these storms is across southern Jackson County, and it snakes down into Orange County. Again, it's moving off to the east at around 35 to 45 miles an hour. There's the track on the larger band of storms. Livonia, Wheeler Hollow over the next 5 minutes. Salem, 13 minutes to you. Hardensburg, 23 minutes. Crothersville, 25 minutes. Austin and Scottsburg over the next half hour. Some of this activity is going to head in your direction. So again, that's where we had the threat of some strong storms. But at this point, we only have one warning that's in effect. That's the tornado warning for parts of far northern sections there into Orange County. And in that shade of orange, just north of the viewing area, we have some severe thunderstorms and some flooding. A lot of pretty substantial flooding ongoing up close to Indianapolis this evening from some big storms up that way. And as you can see, there are more storms off to the west and southwest that will slowly begin to move in. Evansville seeing some storms. Also, you folks in southern parts of Du Bois County near the Jasper area. Finally, farther west out there along the Wabash River, some more storms firing up as well, and all of this is moving off to the east and northeast. Should be getting a new scan here on the radar of that storm across parts of Orange County, so we'll go ahead and zoom in and show you exactly where that thing is located. Just to the north and northeast of, it looks like they're in Paoli, right along Highway 37. The good news is this band of rotation has broadened out a little bit. It's become elongated. It was one succinct little area of rotation just off to the northeast of French Lick, and now it's a kind of a wind shift. You have a little rotation and a couple of notches in there, but I'm not seeing anything that really catches my eye in terms of really distinct rotation that's going to cause major issues. Again, the tornado warning was issued around 10 minutes ago and is going to go until 8:30. And we'll have to monitor and see if the storm continues to weaken. We may cut out of this a little bit early and get you back to programming. Otherwise, we're going to stay with this and keep folks safe across parts of southern Indiana. Kayla, do you have something?
Receiving hail.
Hail?
Don't know what size yet. It's not
Okay. A little bit of hail in Orleans. Okay, thanks so much. Appreciate that, Kayla. Again, this thunderstorm may have all facets of severe weather. A lot of times rotating thunderstorms not only can produce tornadoes, they can produce strong damaging winds and at times some hail. And on the leading edge of this wind shift, that's where we have a little bit of a concern for maybe a little bit of rotation to reach down toward the ground. And part of the reason why I'm staying with this, I realize doing a lot of repetition here, we had a storm that was similar to this about an hour ago over parts of Monroe County, Indiana, that did reportedly cause a touchdown. So this is something that can happen in very short notice. A lot of times these storms this time of year, they don't look overly impressive on the radar, but they can produce a tornado. And I realize it's not in the metro, but these folks up here in parts of Orange County, they really need to play it safe, and we're going to help them do that over the next little bit here. So Paoli to Orleans. Again, Orleans had that potential for a little bit of hail a bit ago. As this moves off to the east and northeast, that may be over northeastern parts of Orange County. One thing I can do is go over to the dual pole data and see exactly what sort of precip is falling. We'll start with the correlation coefficient, and what that does is compare the different types of precipitation. Sometimes when you see those shades of yellow, that indicates where either you have some really big raindrops or some small hail from time to time. And again, this general area is where you might have a little bit of hail embedded in this stronger thunderstorm as it moves east and northeast. I know this doesn't mean a whole lot to a lot of people. One thing concerning right there is a little bit of a lower correlation. This correlation coefficient can tell you if all of the particles falling from the sky are the same diameter and size, or if they're varying. That's why it's a correlation of different types of particles in the air. If this drops off the table, sometimes we can refer to this as a tornado debris signature, the radar picking up debris lofted in the cloud. At this point, I'm not seeing that, which is some great news, but we'll keep an eye on this particular product because this can give us a really good idea if something does decide to turn tornadic, if there is damage occurring. We'll go back over to the more familiar mode here. This is reflectivity, and again, you do have that band of storms from Campbellsburg to Paoli moving east at around 30 to 40 miles an hour. Let's go back over to the velocity data. Again, we still have this very tight couplet that seems to get tighter and then weakens a little bit and then re-strengthens, but it's right there for you folks in northeastern parts of Orange County. So let me zoom in real tight. We'll try to do a little bit of street level mapping for you and show you exactly where this thing is located for you folks in rural northeastern sections of Orange County. Hang with me, folks, here in Louisville. I realize there's no severe weather going on in the city at this point, but these folks in Orange County are under the gun for a pretty strong storm. Again, this is right along into the east of Highway 37, a very rural part. But you do have that area of green, which is winds blowing toward the bottom part of your TV, and the red blowing away from the TV set there toward the top portion and away from Louisville. That's where you do have some of that rotation that's occurring with that particular thunderstorm. As we zoom back out and show you the rest of the viewing area, that is the strongest activity that we have. We have some gusty winds coming in with some heavy rain out to the west, but that's all blowing in one direction. So that tells us it's not a tornadic situation, just parts of Orange County that we are concerned about at this time. Again, this is all moving off to the east and northeast. We'll do a larger track for you and show you folks ahead of the storm exactly when you may see some of this active weather. Let me go back here a little bit. Let me try that again. I don't know if it's going to let me. Here we go. All right, so folks in southern Indiana, this storm is pushing off toward the east at around 50 miles an hour. So we'll track it in that direction. English and Scottsburg the next 10 to 15 minutes. Some of this activity heading for you. Pekin, Underwood the next 20 minutes. Palmyra as well, then Leavenworth, Greenville, and New Washington over the next half hour or so. Some of these locations will be seeing some strong storms. The only warning again that we have is the tornado warning itself. So we are really keeping a close eye on that part of Orange County to see exactly what comes out of that storm. Again, this is just north and northeast of Paoli, where we're really worried at this point for the most severe of this thunderstorm as it moves on through. Orleans, Paoli to Campbellsburg is essentially where we're boxing in the highest threat at this time. Again, this is a very rural part of the viewing area, but we do have a lot of folks there in the Paoli area that have family just situated north of the community, and we did want to make sure folks out there had an idea of what is going on. We'll reset really quick and show you exactly where this warning is located. I'll take the information that's on the screen here and drop it off, so we'll kind of restart. There is the band of storms that we have from Seymour to Jasper that's moving off to the east and southeast. Again, in Louisville, we're quiet for now, but you may be seeing some lightning off in the western sky and perhaps shortly hearing a little bit of thunder as this band of storms pushes in. We're not expecting widespread severe weather, but the threat is certainly with us to see scattered areas of some stronger storms this evening. As we zoom in and show you exactly where we're concerned, it's going to be parts there of northern Orange and western Washington County. This little guy right here is where I'm really concerned for potentially a little bit of rotation to be developing. This is approaching the Washington County line. In terms of our warning here, this is going to be just the northeastern quadrant, really, of Orange County. So let me go ahead and track the strongest part of the rotation, and that's going to be pushing east and northeast for you at around 30 miles an hour. So areas there, Saltillo to Campbellsburg, that's where we're concerned for that strong storm to push on through. And as it moves east and northeast, we certainly hope that it will continue to weaken. But we have a couple of areas of weak rotation there across sections of Orange County. And as we track that to the east and northeast, that will be pushing it actually into parts of Washington County. I'm having a bit of a problem with my clicker here, so I'll step out and we'll track it for you. You folks in Salem need to be on guard for that potential for a stronger storm. The latest scan coming in indicating this thing has weakened pretty substantially, so that is some great news. So once again, what we'll do is track this for you as it moves east and northeast at around 30 miles an hour. That wind shift could be where a strong storm may produce a brief tornado. That's why the warning is in effect. Saltillo, Campbellsburg, Livonia, Kossuth, and Salem over the next 25 to 35 minutes. So folks, we'll keep you updated on this situation through the evening. In the meantime, since the storm has weakened a little bit, we'll get you back to programming. I'm meteorologist Jared Heil here at WHAS 11. And again, if new warnings or new information come out for us, we'll pass it along to you. Have a great night.
I wish I could